Welcome to Across the Balkans. I'm Nafisa Latic. Serbians are rallying in large numbers, demanding their government cancel plans for a major lithium mine in the western Jadar region. They fear the project by Australian-British mining company Rio Tinto will pollute the land and water. The EU-backed deal would secure crucial lithium supplies for electric car batteries, reducing reliance on China. Local media reported that around 40,000 people joined one of Belgrade's largest protests in years, chanting "You will not dig, no to mine" and "Stop Rio Tinto." Two leading activists were detained, prompting a government crisis meeting. Well, this is the second time protesters have pressured the government that revoked a deal 2 years ago, and many vow not to give up.
Zato što ako ne budemo ovdje, naša deca će biti mrtva ili će biti van zemlje. Zato što je ovo počinju poslednji dani kada ćemo se ili izboriti za budućnost, bukvalno za stvarnu budućnost u čistoj, zdravoj sredini, zdravoj zemlji, ili ćemo postati rudarska kolonija i neće nas biti.
Pa ne mislim da je generalno ništa loše što se tiče naprednih tehnologija i svega ostalog. Međutim, to mora da sprovodi neko ko je stručan i korumpiran mnogo manje nego ovi. Kapiram da svi moraju da budu pomalo, ali ovo je dno. Tako da nemam nikakvo poverenje u njih što se toga tiče.
Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić repeatedly pledged that no mining will begin until environmental safety protocols are put in place. He blamed protesters for siding with regional media to ignite the violence.
Ja mislim da svaki čovjek kada pročita ili sasluša šta se govori u Prištini, Zagrebu, Sarajevu i zvaničnoj Podgorici, potpuno mu je jasno na koje strane treba da bude. Svaki normalan čovjek u ovoj zemlji. I da istog sekunda sve izuzetno dobro ili odlično razume. Samo nisam razumeo zašto su ovi ljudi želeli koji žive u ovoj zemlji da unište privredu Srbije. Pozivali smo na razgovore. Pozivala je predsjednica Narodne skupštine na razgovore u Narodnoj skupštini. Nisu želeli da dođu na njih.
Let's take a closer look at how the crisis over one of Europe's largest lithium deposits unfolded. In 2001, a mining company, Rio Tinto, established a secondary company in Serbia for geological exploration. In 2004, the company found a new mineral rich in lithium in the Jadar River Valley in western Serbia. 2 years later, the mineral was registered as Jadarit, and Serbia is the only place where it can be found. Jadarit can support the long-term production of car batteries. In 2017, the Serbian government granted the company an exploration license for the Jadar project, allowing further assessment and development of the deposit. Rio Tinto's announcement of the mine's construction triggered strong reactions from environmental groups, leading to massive demonstrations across Serbia. In 2022, the Serbian government revoked Rio Tinto's license amid strong protests and growing opposition. But last month, Serbia restored the company's license, saying the previous decision to block the project was not in line with the constitution and the law. Let's bring in Bojana Novakovic. She's an activist who strongly opposes the Rio Tinto project, and she participates and organizes the protests. Bojana, great to have you with us. I mean, a lot of reaction to what's going on in Serbia in the last couple of days. But let me start by reading this tweet from the U.S. State Department Assistant Secretary. He tweeted, "Serbia's Jadar lithium project is an opportunity to contribute to the green transition at home and abroad. It would grow Serbia's economy and make it a leader in Europe's renewable energy sector." So this means the U.S. stands firmly with the EU and the Serbian government. What was your reaction and reaction from other protesters to this tweet?
My reaction is I have no idea what the US State Department has to do with a non-existent lithium mine that is proposed by an Anglo-Australian company to apparently service German car makers. So while none of the other embassies, including the European Union, has commented on these protests at all, the Australian embassy, the English embassy, the UK embassy, sorry, or the EU embassy, It surprises and shocks me, and I want to know why the US has any interest in this mine. We have actually sent freedom of information requests to the State Department 3 years ago, asking for the meeting minutes that their diplomats have had with our diplomats about this project, because we don't understand what the US involvement is. And of course, we've received no answers. We've done this as well with the Australian government and of course the Serbian government, and are in process of receiving information. But in terms of the US, I can't wait to find out what their involvement and interest is in this non-existent project.
Speaking of interests, how significant would this project, Jadar project, be for German car makers, for example? What's Germany's interest and benefit in this? I mean, Germany also has large lithium deposits itself as a country.
I have to be really honest with you. I'm not going to answer this question because I'm not a spokesperson for the German car industry. I'm a spokesperson for the Serbian people who don't want this mine. And so I don't want to promote their interests on this program. They are a problem for us. They have more lithium than us. I'm not saying dig lithium anywhere. If you can see my face, I am sweating profusely in a room with air conditioning because we are in the middle of a heat wave, in the middle of a climate crisis. And we will not solve it by creating more mines and mining more lithium and cobalt and nickel and all the other elements and copper that are required for all these new cars. So I have no comment about the German car industry here, apart from stay out here.
Because I've seen large protests and voices coming from Serbia saying, like, Germany, stay away, you have your own lithium reserves, by many protesters. That's why I'm asking you about this, because I really
want... Well, that's not our voice. So the voice of us as organizers and our voice, we've signed the Jadar Declaration, which is against lithium mining, and we've signed this with our friends in Germany, Spain, Portugal, Chile, and Bosnia. So this is just people being angry, and rightfully so. And we can say jokingly, look, dig it there first and go for it. Let's see if it's safe in your own backyard, but do not blame us for protecting our own backyards. And in fact, we support everybody who's protecting their backyards because it's in the interest of the global, of the safety of the environment globally, for everybody to protect their land from further mining.
Why you and other protesters like you, why you don't trust your own government when it says it will be done all according to environmental procedures and make a boost for the economy of Serbia that quite needs this now in these times?
Well, firstly, the health of the Serbian people is not dependent on our GDP, our economy. So we don't even want to discuss that. But in terms of environmental procedure, those procedures have already been wrongly asserted. The environmental impact assessment that was offered to us in 2021 was completely against EU regulation. And the new study that Rio Tinto has published is not done according to government regulation, which is that the ministries are supposed to order this study, and then the public is supposed to participate. Rio Tinto did a behind-the-scenes study privately with their own scientists. So this is a big PR activity. Also, let's not forget that this government was elected through a lot of illegal and corrupt means, and that the EU Parliament has actually voted on the fact that the last election was completely rigged. So we don't trust this government. This is an autocratic regime. This is a regime that's run on criminality and cartel-like behaviour. And you can see that there was 120,000 people, according to the map-checking apps on Microsoft at this protest. So the people of Serbia are against this mine, and the government is not listening.
Buena, we contacted Rio Tinto while working on this topic in our previous episode, and they did say they will be in touch with local environmental institutions and organizations while they are conducting this project. I mean, who, besides the thousands of protesters that you mentioned, who do you have on your side? So it's not the EU, it's not the US, it's not the government. So what's the way forward, and what is your plan moving on? It seems like, to me, it's just these couple of NGOs organizing the protests, firmly standing behind the fact that this will destroy the lives of people in Western Serbia. But who else is supporting this?
Okay, so let me just step back here. So on a global level, we have the global movement for environmental justice on our side, number one. Number two, on a regional level, we have every single ecological society and civil society group on our side. And on a local level, and this is probably the most important thing that I need to point out, and this is regional and international as well, we have the Serbian Science Academy on our side. We have a letter signed by over 400 scientists and local groups from 35 countries against not just this mine, but the Critical Raw Materials Act, which was signed into legislation by the EU. So we have a plethora of experts, the highest order of experts in Serbia, who are not on Rio Tinto's payroll, saying that this would devastate nature, that it's not a good idea even for our economy. Technologically, this is unsound. We don't even understand what kind of technology would be used. And you can just look at the history of this company to see that this is not something that the Serbian people need. So to say that this is a handful of NGOs is incorrect, actually. We're not even an NGO, our team. We're a civil society group. We do not receive money from any state, any corporation, any government. And so we are very clear on the fact that 120,000 people marching on the streets, it's not just a handful of people that have cult-like abilities. This is the Serbian people crying, no, we don't want this mine.
No, that's why I'm asking. Actually, I wanted you to clarify, because what people who are not from the region, from Serbia, are asking, who exactly is behind these massive protests? You managed once to revoke this license. Are you convinced, optimistic that you will be able to do it again?
We do not want to only revoke this license. We want to protect every single area of Serbia that is under the threat of lithium and boron mining, because the ore rock contains both of these minerals plus others. So we have no interest in just Rio Tinto. We want a law that will mandate the banning of lithium and boron mining on the territory of Serbia, particularly because we're looking at heavily populated areas of farmland and fertile soil, which you can see in these images, which has never, ever been done. Lithium mining has never taken place on land that is occupied by people, farmers, and that is fertile and that feeds people, particularly in Jadar, between two free-flowing clean rivers with water sources and groundwater. So this is something that we want to put into law, and that's why people are getting up. People are really concerned about laws in Serbia, and when you have a legal action to back sort of your protests, this is why people are coming out. They're really educated here, and we want not just Rio Tinto to leave, but we want to put this into our legal jurisdiction, that no one can mine here.
Lots of concerns among the people there. Yes, we did speak to farmers as well. We went to Western Serbia. They are very concerned about all these information coming out from Serbian Academy and others. Bojana, thank you so much for clarifying all this for us on Across the Balkans.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.